Welcome in, my fellow human beings. We're going to do a collective reading because the energy I've been feeling the last day or so has been crazy. We're going to be doing the reading over the top of this board, the Lovers. I'll give you a shot of that. The Lovers, my steampunk version of the Lovers, anyway. So we're going to jump right into this and see what the cards have to say, okay? As we're shuffling here, I will get my camera out of the way so you can witness the unfolding of our collective hand here. Boy, I said that so good. That was perfect. Okay, we got the Strength card and we got the Ace of Cups. So we're showing some compassion, some dominant strength, compassion. The Strength card, she moves with passion, right? You can see she's some say that she's actually putting her hand into the mouth of the lion, but she's not aggressive, so obvious reasons, right? But there is a compassion followed by the Ace of Cups. So there is a divine offering. And that was not the energy I was feeling earlier today. But we have the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. Okay. Maybe a young love. I say that because it's grounded in a Page of Swords energy, you know, that energetic, youthful. My goodness, I'm loving this. My heart is just thumping. I love love. So hopefully this is going to be a collective that some relationships coming together some way or another, right? King of Swords is all about communication, intellect. So maybe somebody's looking at a situation with the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. We got the Two of Cups, a union coming together, and then it's followed by the Hermit in the reversed position. Okay, so far so good, right? I want to know why the Hermit's there, so we're going to take a look at the Hermit card real quick in the reversed position and see why that's there. So give me just a second as I transition over to this. Isolation, withdrawal, confusion, loneliness. Okay. Fear of introspection and uncertainty. Hmm. Give me just a second. I'm going to get my camera off on here and then see where we at. Apologize. I'll take that Lover's card down. There I am. Okay, so right, all this great energy, and all of a sudden we have the introspection of the Hermit. I'm going to look at that one more time again, real quick. So isolation, withdrawal, confusion, avoidance, and resistance, loneliness. Okay, and the Sun also in the reverse position. So maybe there's a disconnection taking place. But you've really got your mind set on them because the Ace of Wands talks about it. It's kind of this very emotional card. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read a little bit more about this Ace of Wands, and the reason I want to do that, I don't want to, slow this down anymore. But it's talking about potential new beginnings. But a lot of readers out there will talk about how the Ace of Wands talks about a sexual desire as well. And I've kind of gathered a lot of information about it, but it really talks about like creative breakthroughs, passion, if that's where that's coming from, passion, it encourages you to embrace new ideas, take initiative, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not really getting that whole element there. A divine offering, subtle nod to future success, indicating that if you act on this inspiration, it could lead to tangible achievements. Um, so I'm not sure, man. Urging you to channel your enthusiasm into something meaningful. Now, that's, if sexual relationships channeling that energy pretty good. So I'm down, right? We're all down for that. We like to have that. And however, we have the Sun in reversed. So that introspection has got the energy bumfuzzled, right? Um, and then it's followed by the Ten of Wands in the reverse position too. So I'm gonna keep shuffling real quick. The Ten of Wands is just overburdened and overwhelmed with something. Huh, I don't want to see that because everything looks so great up here, you know? Strength, Ace of Cups, King of Swords, Page of Swords. Something's coming in very quickly. A union of some type. And maybe because it's coming in so fast, right now it's based upon a sexual type of relationship, the honeymoon phase, right? And perhaps, you know, with the Ten of Wands in the reverse position, I'm going to try to keep this going, but you know, sometimes I get a little curious as to why some of those cards want to show up, especially when everything's looking so good and feeling so good. So the Ten of Wands in reverse talks about release, overcoming burden, perspective, balance, resilience, recovery. Okay, a freedom. Maybe somebody's leaving a relationship or something like that. But it's followed by the Emperor card. Um, and then followed by the Queen of Cups. So we've got these two beautiful energies back to back. What is this confirmation? Maybe we need confirmation to say it's okay to love again. It's okay to have a relationship that's based purely upon a sexual desire. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not judging nobody. Uh, but it looks like a union though. So, you know, with the Two of Cups, that's definitely kind of a spiritual and you know, emotional divine union too. So maybe somebody's just questioning that. But the Emperor stands on stability, and so somebody's very boy. There's a lot of words coming out, a lot of firm words, right? But very firm in this, you know, energy. The Queen of Cups, excuse me, talks about the mystery. I want to get some more information for you real quick on the Queen of Cups here. Yeah, she stands on the mystery. She's the only card or in the cups there that has the lid on it, right? But she's nurturing, empathetic, and deeply intuitive. Um, Gentle guidance, unconditional love, right? So passion, intuition, and emotional depth. Mysteries of the subconscious mind, emotional stability, intuitive awareness. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, that all sounds good. Is somebody's energy just saying, ha 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 ha, I've got something great and you don't? I don't know. What the hell is this all about? Good for you. I'm glad. Okay. So, however, there seems to be something on their mind, on somebody's mind here. The Five of Wands represents kind of an emotional. It could be about an emotional, internal emotions about this situation. The Five of Wands talks about um, kind of this nobody taking charge kind of state. I want to look at that again for you. Give me just a second, because there's a lot of stuff to pull out of the Five of Wands like that. Usually the fives, you know, on almost all of the decks symbolize some kind of internal conflict of some sort, but this one talks about disagreements, tension. Maybe there's competition. Maybe you're competing for somebody to come into this relationship with the mindset of commitment. And perhaps right now it's still in the sexual honeymoon phase, and somebody's not really committing to this, and somebody maybe wants a little bit of commitment. So it talks about yeah, competition, disorder rather than, you know, outright violence, obviously. So maybe it's an, you know, kind of an unconditional type or a non-traditional type relationships could be, you know, as examples, throuple relationships, things like that. Polyamorous, whatever. But it could be implying that playful competition, right? Um, Rather than, you know, destruction type. Um, a lack of cooperation. So there's lots of different, you know, ways to look at the Five of Wands. Temporary struggles, you know. And then Then we see the Ace of Swords. So, I mean, hoorah. The Ace of Swords is a divine communication coming in, a divine energy. It's an action. Um, the swords are an air sign, and they represent this communication card. But I want to tell you about the Ace of Swords in another light too. So let's take a look at the Ace of Swords here real quick. Yeah, so far, I mean, everything looks really good. I mean, I'd like to have that card spread every single day. So yeah, divine inspiration, um, truth, justice, decisive action. So there's some kind of a decisive action about to take place or in the process. It also talks about spiritual enlightenment, but really like new ideas, intellectual breakthroughs, cutting through, maybe the confusion of something. So maybe we're about to come to a conclusion about this relationship or about something. But yeah, so it's followed by the Five of Cups in the reverse position too. So the Five of Cups normally in the upright is just kind of this, gray skies, right? You know that you've had some things in the past that's troubled you, and you know that you've got to keep moving forward, right? And that the journey's going to be, it's going to take some time to get through it and move on. But you do still have two remaining cups here behind you, symbolizing that Um, instead of the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, 3 steps back scenario, you just know it's going to take a little work to move through something. So we're seeing the Five of Cups in the reverse. So I want to kind of get an idea about that, and we'll talk about that too. So Five of Cups in reversed: acceptance, healing, forgiveness, and perspective, emotional recovery. So yeah, moving forward with renewal, hope, release, growth. I mean, that's awesome, right? That's uh that's everything you would want, in a relationship wise. What is this trying to say to the collective here? What So we've got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Now the Six of Pentacles upright is balance, generosity, an energy of balance and generosity. However, we're finding it to be in the reverse, so we'll look at that also. Um, Six of Pentacles. Just a second here. Selfishness, debt, imbalance, strings attached. Okay. So if we are talking about relationship, then there's some strings attached to it. Maybe somebody has some kids involved, or but there seems to be also the energy of inequality and manipulation, dependency, maybe strings attached to it. Okay, so maybe somebody's in a work relationship where this could be presenting an issue. Pentacles talks about, work health, stability, that type of scenario. So what strings are attached to this? Okay, the Queen of Wands. She's deep in her intuition. Um, she has black cat magic. I want to take a look at the Queen of Wands too, because with the strings attached, maybe intuitively you know this. Whoever we're speaking to, you know this, but it's so good, right? I mean, it's so good. Um, I'm gonna keep shuffling real quick, but I also want to take a look at the Queen of Wands. Actually, I want to give a little bit more about the Queen of Wands. So while that's shuffling, I'm gonna look that up and show you a little bit more here. Just by taking somebody's word for what the Queen of Wands means, I kind of like to get a roundabout um, answer here. So the Queen sits on a throne, okay, adorned with two lions facing each other, and that symbolizes strength, fire, and leadership. Um, and the sunflower in her left hand represents joy, vitality, and abundance, and it reinforces her warmth and optimism. And the wand in her right hand, a sign of power and creative force, showing her ability to manifest her desires. So somebody has manifested this relationship, right? But the black cat at her feet symbolizes a mysterious symbol of intuition, independence, and hidden knowledge. And perhaps somebody is thinking, I don't want to settle down, which we kind of got that from, earlier. Um, Maybe kind of we do have the Page of Swords, so maybe this is a younger kind of a saying, not to say that being young makes you immature, but I'm saying is in a mature, more unmature relationship, meaning less time involved. So, but I feel like maybe they're intuitively thinking, I'm not sure about this now. So, okay, so then it was followed by the High Priestess and the Justice card. Okay. Now, we couldn't be in any better condition with the High Priestess and then Justice right behind it. So, she is the epitome. If there were a poster child for successful intuitiveness, that would be it, right? She wears the triple moon as her crown. She's adorned with all kinds of religious and spiritual. She has holding, the Torah book, and she's also, between the two columns, Joachim and Boaz, and then also the crescent moon down below symbolizing intuition, and the pomegranates back behind her. So everything about the high priestess is, spiritually right, and followed by the justice card, superior balance, superior interior. So somebody's on top of their game, but they're in their really in their intuitive mind about this. So are you trying to make a decision as to whether or not you turn this sun upside or, right side up, or, kind of putting off the introspection a little bit? I'm not sure what the deal is. This is union card. So, there we go, right? There's your answer. The lover's in reverse. You're just wondering. Well, I think with, you've manifested the Queen of Cups, trying to go within and call this a mystery, and kind of looking at your past a little bit at the same time, how it's kind of starting to affect the balance of your situation. With the Queen of Wands, I'm saying I'm seeing all of this, internal work that needs to be taken, take advantage of it. And, I mean, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with saying, look, I want to back out of this relationship for a while, right? Even though this is good, there are, other ways of satisfaction, but I'm just saying. So anyway, yeah, we got the King of Wands in the reverse position, and the King of Wands is a chaos, tyranny. It's a in the reverse position, right? The King of Wands in the upright is not the same as the King of Wands in reverse. So let's take a look at the King of Wands in reverse and find out why that's showing up. So tyranny, domineering, impulsiveness, arrogance, recklessness, manipulation, intolerance, ego. So yeah, maybe there's some ego clashing going on with this. And look, I gotta say, hey, if this is a brand new relationship, um, expect it. If you're past the honeymoon phase, and you guys pull off your masks, now the realness sets in, and it's like, huh, I'm seeing this person, in a different light. But hey, remember, that's a 50-50 street, right? You both decided to go down that same road, or however many people are in this relationship. We did see, possibilities of multiple, but I'm just saying it takes two to tango. But um, I think really what it's asking is for you to really take a look at, when you got the high priestess energy, justice, um, and maybe there is a little bit of immaturity taking place in the fact that you're not really ready to settle down, or maybe you are and you're just questioning that. You do got the Ace of Swords with some communication about this. Maybe you guys are about to have a talk about it, or the talk's coming. So, I mean, hey, stay in your element, stay in your lane. Don't put a mask on, and don't do this before you have the talk, right? Yeah. So the Queen of Pentacles and the King both. Okay. So, okay. So now I'm wondering whether or not, this disconnection, you guys have been apart from each other. And that puts a little bit of maybe a mirroring effect, right? I mean, how could you just ignore this and they're facing each other? I don't normally say twin flame, but this could possibly be a twin flame scenario. Only because, look, there's so much information out there about twin flame. Let's just call it the person on your mind, right? Um, Whoever this is for. Yeah, there's this nostalgia that's taking place, and it's probably mirrored because they're in the yeah, and trying to become grounded. One is stable, and one's making an offering. Everything's looking good. I mean, oh my goodness, right? Let's look at the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, okay? That will maybe give us a little bit more um kind of why. So, materialism, financial struggles, isolation. Um, it ended in the Nine of Pentacles, so it kind of maybe tells me, look, we're both broke, right? Uh, and if you ever made your decisions on that, then whether or not you could afford to even have a relationship because I'm broke, he's broke, whatever. I don't know. I'm not knowing that, so that never stopped anybody from starting. In fact, that's the beginning of a legacy. That's how you'd see the Ten of Pentacles show up, and we do have the Nine. So it looks like you're moving towards that. Maybe you want to move towards that. The Ten of Pentacles talks about legacy and building something with somebody. And I kind of feel like we have a mirrored image here. We started off with such beautiful cards, right? So I'm not getting it. Page of Cups is an offering. It is a very energetic offering. And I tell you, so then we see the King of Pentacles. Let's look at that also. Let's see. Yeah, same thing. A stubbornness, exploitation, superficiality, power struggles, and imbalance. Maybe one has money, one doesn't have money. I'm not sure who this is for. This gets kind of specific on that, but what to say about that? Whether you're judging a relationship on finances, I mean, I can't say I blame anybody. I wouldn't I wouldn't say that the reason I wouldn't be with a person is because they're broke. Because it really doesn't matter about that to me personally. To each his own. I mean, but I don't. I think I would have to look at the really hard stuff. Like, once this honeymoon phase is over, are we able to come back together and grow something together? I mean, those are the kind of the hard questions. And really, I could see why at the beginning of a relationship you really wouldn't talk about something like that. You're too busy, you know, doing the fun stuff, right? So, um, I kind of got the feeling that that's it. It's like maybe somebody is seeing a relationship kind of coming out of that honeymoon phase, right? And it's expected. Everything's not whistles and bells all the time. And I feel like a lot of that, just from past experiences, is that we put people up on a pedestal so high. We feel like they're queens, they're kings, and then when we see that shadow side of themselves come out, you kind of feel like it puts your heart in a dungeon for a while, like that's I can't believe he yelled at me, or I can't believe she said what she said. It just starts that little back and forth, and that's you know if we could understand that the best part about a relationship is supposed to be unconditional, you know, but usually that usually takes about 1,000 arguments, 20 million fights and makeups, and sometimes that's fun too, fight to make up, but there really doesn't have to go that way. It's just open communication. We did see the Ace of Swords, right? And that's kind of like really begging it's in a dominant position. So there needs to be communication, is what I feel like. So whoever this is for, really cool read. I mean, it is the lovers. It's just right now I feel like it's in separation. And if that's the case, maybe I don't know. I'm just a lover. I just want to see people love. I love to be loved and I love to give it. So but I know sometimes it doesn't reciprocate 100% of the time. Excuse me. Um, yeah, it's never that way. I don't care, who you talk to. That's kind of a Hollywood movie scene there, and you damn sure don't want to be living in that. That ain't real. Real life is, well, it's up and it's down, and sometimes people carry 95% of the load in a relationship while the other one's only carrying five, and sometimes it reverses, and it depends on your boundaries. It depends on what boundaries that you will allow. And I feel like maybe if this is a twin flame scenario, don't be in the chaser runner positions. Um, we did see both divine feminine and divine masculine with the queen and the king of pentacles there. So that really ought to tell you something. If this is confirmation for somebody, I feel like it's mirrored. Most definitely, they were both in the dominant positions of masculine and feminine positions, the one and two slots. So, um, but yeah, I mean that's beautiful. It is what it is. I just love that energy though. That's like you know, it's fun to chase and it's fun to be caught. And then that honeymoon it's whew, right, so good. Um, but there's more to it, right? There's way more that lies underneath, and now it could be coming into a place where you could really look forward to helping each other with your shadow selves, the the traumatized little boy, little girl, or little female, little male, little masculine, little feminine. We help each other work through those things, um, and deciding whether or not this relationship's karmic before it even gets started is it's kind of like pushing it out the door, before you even get to experience. So if you're a type of person that's really not wanting to settle down, then um, I think that I would let somebody know that. That would just be the most honest way to approach that relationship. Look, I'm polyamorous or I'm monogamous. I mean, I feel like a lot of those things could really be, and a lot of times people, because I care about you so much, I'll be willing to say that's okay when in fact I don't actually feel that way. I'm not saying me personally, I'm saying that we put on masks and we have rose-colored glasses because we're goo-goo-eyed. This person's fantastic, but really that's the way we should have approached it, was right from the very beginning. Look, I'm open in a relationship, or I'm this, or I'm that. And really kind of what I just saw in the cards were, kind of two similar situations maybe. And, but it felt like there was a little bit more weightier, um, questioning on it on one side, as to whether or not to continue on with this. So anyway, hey, cool read. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope somebody got something out of that. That was pretty interesting to see. So, anyway, if you liked it, let me know. Come back and see me. All right. Bye.